During the 2011-2012 rainfall season, long dry spells were experienced in the southern provinces of Matabeleland South, Matabeleland North, Masvingo, parts of Manicaland and Midlands. Felt and water for both humans and livestock became scarce, resulting in livestock losses and reduced agriculture productivity.
Inkomo lezele le 3 weeks izele plus lendlala ilambile elamandla ukudla ziyadla ukudla kusekho ziphonga udobha nje kuphela bijana vele kazisuthi amanzi njalo kawasekho yona lamanzi esiwathembileyo ile nkomo ezingunayo sokufe 3 leyi bengizama ukuthi ivuke iyekhaya ngeyifiteli ngezama uyini ukudla ekhaya.
The government of Zimbabwe's cabinet declared the situation in the provinces a national disaster. According to the government's Division of Livestock Production and Development, between June and December 2012, an estimated 17,418 cattle died throughout Zimbabwe. This situation is compounded by the high prevalence of household food insecurity, fragile stock feed, lack of drug markets, as well as constraints faced by the agricultural extension system. It's against this background that in October 2012, the government of Zimbabwe launched an emergency livestock drought mitigation program with the aim to save animals in the affected districts.
That feedback that we got, and also through our assessments, was that there was urgent need to provide farmers in these areas with survival ration for their livestock, because animals were dying in droves. And the sad part was that most of the animals that were actually dying is the breeding stock. Most animals were actually in calf or had just given birth. This is a period when they will need more food. We came up with some possible rescue measures. Some funds were released as a startup to try to save some animals, and initially five districts in Mat South and 1 district in Mat North were chosen.
Under the government program, a total of 5,000 metric tons of cattle survival feed was made available and sold to farmers at a subsidized 50% of cost price.
Feeding yotaitenga ku Paidi Bridge kana kulutumba. Kulutumba feeding itai 160 rands. Transport ito waita 30 rands. Igweta 190, so inenge yodura stereke zokuti munhu asina mari akwanisi kuiwana.
Farmers who already were struggling to buy food for their families found it difficult to purchase animal feed even at the subsidized price. The other challenge was that this program only covered a proportion of the affected districts. That is why the United Kingdom's Department for International Development, DfID, contributed $11.5 million towards the emergency drought mitigation program. The funds were channeled through the Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations in Zimbabwe, and assistance was targeted at the 9 worst affected districts, focusing on wards not covered by the government program.
The government came in with an exercise that was from National Foods, Profits. They bring almost 15 tons every month, and that was a very big relief. Because with us here, from here to Gwanda, our first destination to get stock feed is Gwanda, and it's very far. Yes, but as for now, we want to be very thankful, because when this program came in, we had already gone out of stock.
Mawanira tineta mari isu takadozofarira kuti chikafu chava kutengegwa pedo nekuti unotiwo paunenge wawana pashoma ipapo watengesawo kana kuti kana mvura ikanaya ukatengesawo zvirimwa unogona kuwana zvinhu zvinokubatsira. Ndipo wafurawo imwe utenga sipo, umwe wafura utenga bhegi. Saka isi tinonyanya kutenda kuti chikafu chakakwededzwa pedo neprice yakanaka, nekuti taimbochitenga kuma $21 tichichibva kumasvika.
This support enabled beneficiaries to access livestock inputs of their choice as well as training. Important to note is that the two programs were not designed to save all animals, but targeted young breeding females in the districts.
The drought mitigation project is based on 3 interventions. The first one is the feed provision of stock feed to the farmers for their livestock. And the second one is provision of water facilities. The third one is the provision of animal disease control measures. The implementation arrangements which were put in place were such that FAO would be the overall coordinator of the interventions, working together with the 4 NGOs which were contracted, namely SNV, Caritas, Africa, and World Vision. These NGOs were working closely with the government departments. These teams in the 9 districts would coordinate the activities to be done by the farmers. And the most important thing they would do is to make sure that the farmers are organized into groups, what we call the livestock development associations. And these would also in turn organize farmers at ward level so that they access the feed.
Due to a combination of factors, the stock feed deliveries and sales under the FAO program only commenced in mid-December 2012. Considering the late start and high cost of the feed, the program only managed to procure a total of 13,730 metric tons of survival feed. This was sold at a subsidized price of $6.50 a kg, in line with the price of the government-run program. As of July 2013, a combined livestock feed aimed at 10,500 metric tons had been sold, and an estimated 88,000 animals have so far benefited from the program. However, observations are that some farmers are now also using the feed for pen feeding their animals before selling to abattoirs. The availability of clean water within a 5-kilometer radius is necessary for the survival of livestock. Dry rivers, dams, very low water tables and dysfunctional boreholes are some of the factors that have exacerbated availability of water. Prior to the program, most of the existing water points were in a bad state and required refurbishment.
We used to fetch water from the riverbed. Actually, women and few men had to dig in the sand. So people had people had to fight for these water points which had water. And these water points got fewer. Then that's the time when we had problems of fetching water.
Out of the 361 water points in need of rehabilitation in the priority districts, 350 were rehabilitated.
We got the push pump and the pipes complete with the roads. The communities raised some funds and then fuel for getting the assistance from DDF. So we come up with fuel and then some monies to give them a little bit of allowances to keep on running.
We are very grateful for the assistance that we have received because we've been facing quite a problem with water. We used to go and fetch water from the river close by. So what we experienced was maybe you could find some goats, find some donkeys on the well that you had to get water from. So we had no choice but do that. And that has been happening from 2007 up until when we tried in June this year. We did repair the borehole, but there were still problems because the pipes were not enough. So the community, having financial constraints, could not pump out the money. So we're very much concerned, fearing that the borehole could break at any moment. So coming here has actually bailed us out. Thank you very much. And then the livestock also, you can see the drought is affecting the area very much. And the people, the villagers were getting very much concerned that they could lose some of their livestock, having to travel long distances to get the water.
Sisebenza ndawonye kodwa sibele ubunzima bokulungisa isikotho. Imali abantu asitholi ngokulingana. So besithwele nzima siyabonga kakhulu njoba lizela zosinceda ngalolu hlelo lelo elilubisileyo siyathaba kakhulu.
Previously, my people had a difficulty during the dry season. They would dig some 5 meters into the river sand to have water so that they water their animals. We appreciate this help and hope it will go a long way in assisting our community.
So inkomo ziyanatha lapha. Yebe lichayana sicela lingasalili silo bazali. Umfulu uyawoma ngithi. Inkomo kufanele sinathe lapha ukuze zisile. So mase lihlangana le committee selifaka ama bylaws elimthethweni leyana. Lizama ukuthi libatshele ukuthi abantu abayenze lokho ngokwela stock production. Antu uyasikuthweni mama. Zande kwandisa izifuyo zenu. Abantu abayilabana befawo yabona ifawo lena elinika imbuzi leziya.
This translates to a minimum of 2 boreholes per ward, benefiting an estimated 375,000 animals and 46,875 households. More importantly, this will have long-term impact in terms of provision of water for livestock and humans. As the program comes to an end, reports from various stakeholders in the field report that drought conditions for livestock still prevail. In the absence of interventions to save livestock, the poor farmers face the danger of continuing loss of income, important for ensuring household food security.
I think that there is need to impart knowledge in terms of capacity building of farmers in such a way that they derive the best out of their animals. They can mix the multiple use of cattle together with the commercialization of the cattle as well.